Thank you for helping monitor the health of Wisconsin streams. In this video, we will walk you through the basics of how to submit your water quality data. All WAV volunteer data is submitted to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources SWIMS database. The SWIMS database contains all surface water data for Wisconsin. You can find the SWIMS login page on the WAV website Submit Data page or by searching for DNR SWIMS in your browser. Before you can log into SWIMS, there are 2 steps to take to get access to the database. First, you will need to create a MyWisconsinID email username and password and set up 2-factor authentication. Second, you will need to email WAVE staff to create your profile in the SWIMS database and add you to a monitoring station. If you have not yet completed these 2 steps, visit the WAVE website for instructions or contact a local WAVE coordinator for help. Once these 2 steps are complete, you will be able to log into SWIMS. Enter your email username and password, verify using your 2-factor authentication method of choice, such as a text to your phone, and click Verify to log in. To enter your stream data, go to the blue toolbar at the top of the SWIMS homepage. Click on Submit Data. Click on Submit Data once again. We've arrived at the first page for our new fieldwork event. All data that you submit to SWIMS will be organized as a fieldwork event with a specific date, time, and place. Fill out all the required fields, which are marked with a red asterisk. The project and station name fields should always auto-populate for you. If you monitor from more than one stream site, select the correct project and station for the data you collected. If these fields are blank, or if you don't find your stream site listed, stop and contact WAVE staff for help. Use the drop-down to select the people you monitored with. If you regularly monitor with the same group of people, you will want to create a new data collector group so that you can easily select those same people every time you enter data. Click on the Find Data Collector button to create a new monitoring group. At the top of the pop-up window, use the search box to find the names of people you regularly monitor with. A person must have a profile in SWIMS in order to be found. You can always email WAVE staff to create a profile for one of your regular monitoring teammates. This step is important for us to properly recognize regular volunteers who participate in WAVE. Click on the Add button to add people to your group. Once you've added all of your monitoring teammates, click the green Create button to save your monitoring group. Enter the date you monitored and the start and end time. Make sure that the form field auto-populates with the WAVE stream monitoring form. If this field is blank, stop and contact WAVE staff for help. Finally, type in your fieldwork comments that describe your observations of the health of the stream or other important details from your visit to the stream that would be useful for a biologist to know. Now scroll back up to the top and click on the orange Next button to continue. On the next few pages, you will enter the weather information and water quality data you collected. Use the drop-down fields to select the weather, sampling date, and stream condition during your fieldwork event. Type in the description of the weather over the past 2 days before your fieldwork event. Enter values for each parameter that you monitored for. Skip any fields that you did not collect data for. Do not enter 0 because 0 is a value and implies that you did monitor for that parameter. Remember to check that your units match the units on the form. For example, water and air temperature should always be entered in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. If you monitored for dissolved oxygen, select the method that you use and enter your values. If you used a meter, then you should indicate that you calibrated the meter that day. If you monitored for transparency, select your tube length. 120 centimeters is most common. Enter the values for your 2 tests. SWIMS will auto-calculate an average. If you monitored for specific conductance, enter your data and then remember to select the units you used. Double-check your numbers before saving. You will receive an error message when saving your data if the numbers entered are outside of an acceptable range, if you entered an invalid number, or if you wrote in any text in a numeric field. You will need to fix the error in order to save your data and go to the next page. At the bottom of the page, click on Save to save your work. Click on Save and Return if you have no more data to submit your fieldwork event. If you do have additional data to submit, click on Save and enter flow data to continue. If you monitored for streamflow, you will fill out this page. If not, scroll to the bottom and click Save and enter biotic index data to continue. First, select the streamflow method that you used. If you used a flow meter, you can directly type in your final streamflow discharge value in the text box. If you use the wave float method using a tennis ball, you will fill out the rest of the fields on the page. Type in any comments about the flow that day that would be useful for a biologist to know. Enter the stream length that you floated the tennis ball. This is usually 20 feet for the wave float method. Enter the stream width. Always type in 0 for your first water depth. This 0 represents both stream banks. Next, enter the water depths that you measured at equal intervals across the stream. Remember, the units must be entered in decimal feet, not feet and inches. If you only collected 10 depth measurements, enter 10 values and leave the rest of the depth measurement fields blank. Do not enter 0 for your last point. Next, type in your velocity float trials with units and seconds. You must enter all 4 velocity values in order for swims to calculate streamflow. You will notice in the dark gray lines that swims is already using your values to auto-calculate the stream's area and average velocity. Use the drop-down to select your velocity correction factor for either smooth or rough bottom streams. Swims can't calculate streamflow without one of these options selected. Swims will now auto-calculate your streamflow discharge. Before you save, remember to check for any data entry errors or missing fields. Click on Save and enter biotic index data to continue. If you completed a WAV biotic index, you will enter the data on this page. I want to stop and note here that if you need to go back to a previous page at any time, simply click the back button in your browser. You can also click on Save and Edit Header to go back to the very first page. Swims will auto-calculate your biotic index value. You just need to use the drop-down fields to select present for any animals that you found. Remember to report any aquatic invasive species that you found at the bottom of this page. It's important to also report if you did not find an invasive species. Please select yes, no, or didn't look for each of the 4 animals. That is the end of the baseline monitoring data. If you have entered all your data, you can click Save and Return to submit your fieldwork event. The final 3 pages are for submitting thermistor and habitat assessment data. Most WAVE volunteers will not enter their thermistor data on this page. WAVE volunteers should only submit habitat data if they have attended a WAVE habitat assessment training and are following the full habitat assessment protocol. Click on the orange button for Save and enter fish habitat to continue. Please note that the first habitat assessment page is for streams that are less than 10 meters or 33 feet wide. The second habitat assessment page is for streams that are more than 10 meters or 33 feet wide. Most volunteers should only submit habitat assessment data for the first page for streams less than 33 feet wide. If you completed a habitat assessment, you will enter your data on the first page. You simply select your final rating for each of the 7 habitat parameters. Swims will auto-calculate your final score, so make sure you have entered a value for all 7 habitat parameters before saving. Once done, click Save and Return to submit your data. Congratulations! You are done submitting your stream data. To edit a past fieldwork event, you can go to the blue toolbar at the top of the Swims homepage and click on View Data. This page will show you all the past fieldwork events that you submitted. Simply click on the green pencil icon next to the fieldwork event you would like to edit. This will take you back to the Submit Data pages we just walked through. If you have any questions about swims or need assistance, please contact Water Action Volunteers Program staff at wave@extension.wisc.edu